let's take a look at what I think is a near perfect 10 watch collection. So I have a lot more than 10 watches. Anybody who follows my channel or my Instagram knows that I have a lot more than 10 watches, but not all of them are equal in price, style, size, complication, anything you can think of. It's a wide variety from smaller brands, micro brands, to Seiko, to Omega, to Tag Heuer, Tissot, everything in between. But out of that collection, I have rounded out what I think is a near perfect 10 watch collection. So let's start with the first watch in my 10 watch collection. Up first, we have a vintage Omega. I believe it's 18 karat gold. It's from the early 50s, I believe. This was a gift from my grandfather. Now, this isn't necessarily a true dress watch, but that is how I treat this watch. I mean, it's extremely delicate. It does still work, which is unbelievably impressive. I was talking to a couple guys the other day. There's nothing cooler than when you try on a watch from the 60s or 50s or even the 40s and before, and you wind the watch and you start to see it start working. It's pretty incredible. It has what's called fancy lugs, and it's got like a white honeycomb dial, 18 karat gold. I have it on a Hirsch strap. I believe it's an 18 millimeter. This watch gets worn very rarely, but I do treat this as a dress watch, and it's a dress watch that goes with, you know, your browns, khakis, greens, etc. Next, we have another vintage Omega. This is from 1960s. This is an Omega Seamaster. It's got the stainless steel case, silver dial, has the date window. What I really like about this one, and this was the second Omega I ever purchased behind the GoldenEye, what I like a lot about this one is that it actually has some kind of fading around that date window, and it kind of gives it like a mirror finish there. What's cool about something like this, being from the 60s and it's in very good shape, the only aspect of it that's got a little fading is, like I said, around the calendar, around the date window there, and it's very hard to see. So for something this vintage to be in this good of shape, which, spoiler alert, I have something also from the 60s that's in even better shape, this was a great purchase. Next, we will jump right into the watch that I said is also from the 60s. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of Omega. This is a Bond channel after all. But next, we have a mid to late 60s Omega Seamaster. I actually have this one on a smaller Milanese bracelet, very similar to the No Time to Die bracelet. What I love about this one is it has that Donald Draper crosshairs, the two lines going through the center of the face, stainless steel, date window, of course. This one is in pretty immaculate shape. I actually got this off of my friend Jordan. What is very cool about this one too is I believe all the indices have black onyx in there. That's a nice little touch. The crosshair, like I said, very Don Draper. Very cool watch. I've done a lot of different things with this watch as far as the strap goes. This Milanese strap, I've only had on there for a couple months. I've probably only worn it once or twice with the Milanese strap. Not the best strap. I will tell you, this one is from Amazon. I kind of wanted to just get one and try it. And finding one in this lug width it was easy to find on Amazon, but there's not a ton of them. So a lot of times you'll see this on a black leather strap, a Hirsch strap, or Anchor Strap Co., one of those types of brands. Up next, we have the Univex 6538. This is meant to be an homage piece to the early Bond Sean Connery, the original Bond Sean Connery Rolex 6538. It's got the big crown, it's got the acrylic crystal, the black bi-directional bezel. What's cool about this one, it came with a leather strap, brown, and also the NATO, the very famous James Bond NATO that we see him wear. That is correct proportionately, because in the film he's wearing a NATO strap that doesn't technically fit the watch. It's too small, and the creator of Univex did that exact same thing. The whole purpose was to make this as close to film accurate as possible. I love wearing this watch. I actually have it on a Forstner bracelet right now, and it's kind of appropriate that the Forstner bracelet has JB on the clasp. Next, we will skip over to Breitling. This is a Breitling Intruder Reveal, also known as a Pluton. I believe this is a 42 millimeter. This is quartz. It's digital and analog. It's got the digital chronograph window, so in there you've got the date. It's a fully functional chronograph watch. All of the chronograph functions actually work through this digital window. And then, of course, an analog dial as well. I've got it on a Breitling leather strap. I love this watch. There's a hell of a story behind this watch. I won't get into it here because I've done a whole 2 or 3 part series on it, but basically I had to hunt down a functioning movement and was able to get this watch back up and running. This is just a really cool watch. It's kind of an older style Navitimer. I think it's in the Navitimer family. I love the blue dial. I love the way it fits on my wrist. It's very light, and the quartz movement, although having to hunt down one, kind of alludes to the fact that it's not the best movement in the world. Ever since I've got it fixed, it's working extremely well, so hopefully I can get a few years out of this one. This is a early 90s, I believe, Omega Constellation two-tone. I believe this was like a 35 or 36 millimeter. This was also left to me when my grandpa passed away early in 2025. My grandpa and I spent a lot of time talking about watches, particular Omega. This one he wore all the time. He loved this watch. What's funny about this watch too is he actually had a book done. One of my older cousins had this idea to have him answer questions and then turn it into a book. One of the pages is completely about this watch, and he says he bought it in the 70s. As we all know watching this video, this is not a design from the 70s. So he was convinced up until the day he died that this watch he bought in Italy in the 70s. I believe he bought it in Italy, but he did not buy it in the 70s. But I love the way this looks. This is what's funny, is something like this I would never gravitate towards buying, but because it's his and now it's fit to my wrist, I actually love wearing this watch. And I treat this one like a dress watch as well. We move on to another Omega. What we have here is the Omega Planet Ocean. This is the 42 millimeter. This is the Planet Ocean that we see Daniel Craig wear in the pre-title sequence of Skyfall. This was a wedding gift from my wife. I love this watch. This was my first true kind of automatic Omega. I love the see-through case back. What's funny about this one is it's an extremely thick case. Of course, it's a dive watch, so that makes total sense. But it doesn't wear anywhere near as bulky and as heavy as most people would think. And a lot of people who own this watch or have tried on this watch all say the same thing. It's surprisingly comfortable on your wrist. I'm probably a little biased, but this is my favorite Planet Ocean by far. We will move on to a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. This is two-tone. I love this watch. It's extremely light, quartz movement. It's about a 41 millimeter. I wear this one all the time. I love the high polish on it. I love the silver dial. It's just extremely, extremely classy. Tag Heuer did an extremely good job with this generation of Aqua Racer. Their newer ones are a little bulky and a little too big for my liking. This, of course, is the most sentimental watch in my collection. This was my dad's watch. This was gifted to my dad by the owner of the company he worked for over 40 years. On the dial, you can see the company's logo. He wore this for an extremely long time. He actually had 2 of these, so my brother has the other one now. So this was extremely, extremely sentimental now that my dad's passed away. My brother and I both have this watch. He wore one all the way up until he retired, and then when he was cleaning out his desk when he retired, he actually found a second one unworn. So then after he retired, he wore that one for 10, 15 years. So I believe that's the one my brother has, and then I had the one that he wore kind of up until he retired, but I think it was kind of the same amount of time with each watch. Second to last, watch number 9, another watch that's been on a hell of a journey. This is the Omega GoldenEye, the original Omega Bond watch, the quartz Seamaster 300 diver that we see Pierce Brosnan wear in GoldenEye. This watch I have now owned 3 separate times. A little bit of a different story. Once again, I have a whole video on it. The second one, I sold it, never should have done it, and I kind of repurchased this kind of late summer 2025. I'm glad I have it. Once again, extremely light watch, photographs well. It looks good with literally anything, a white t-shirt or suit, whatever. business casual, black tie, whatever you want to wear it with. I know that's frowned upon. Don't jump down my throat. But it looks incredible. This is the watch that got me into watches, so I have to have this one in there. Lastly, number 10, my most recent acquisition is the Omega Speedmaster, the Sapphire Moonwatch. So this one I bought late last year, I believe. So I actually have this one on the Omega rubber strap right now, but what really attracted me to this one, of course, the obvious, the Speedmaster. It's just kind of a staple in anybody's collection. It's like a cornerstone to a good collection. I love the see-through case back. I love how thin the case is itself. I love the history behind the Speedmaster. But the Sapphire in particular, I wanted the see-through case back, and I wanted that kind of high polish that they have down the center of the bracelet. I absolutely love what they've done with this generation of the Speedmaster. The bracelet is incredible. The pinstripes on the clasp, I absolutely love this watch. For this watch to be my first in-boutique experience, I couldn't have asked for a different watch to get. So there you go. That is my 10 watch collection. You've got 2 chronographs. You've got 1 to 2 legitimate dress watches, some vintage Seamasters, a true dive watch in the Planet Ocean, the Aqua Racer, which is kind of my sentimental two-tone, kind of covers a few different bases there. Goldeneye, that of course also a dive watch, but it's the reason I got into watches. And then you've got this homage piece to Rolex, the 6538. That's a huge one for me because it's an homage piece to James Bond. It's an homage to Rolex, and it's extremely well done. Let me know what you think. Are you in agreement that this is a good 10 watch collection? Like I said, it's near perfect. I could have used a GMT in there. Maybe someday we'll get a GMT. But for now, this is what I've got. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. The Speedmaster was the icing on the cake to this 10 watch collection. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.